see I see today is going to be my microphone challenge day, so my apologies. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day so far. Ooh, ooh. Wait just one second. Okay. Give me just a second. I'm getting some feedback. Okay, there it goes. Okay, this is going to be my microphone challenge day. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. You had a great weekend and that everything is going well so far. So, I'm here. I was trying to get all of my, just kind of formulate in my mind what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. There's so many questions. It's a little overwhelming to be able to try to address everything, but we're going to do our best. I would say this would be really good. I probably should throw a Q&A up for you guys to drop new questions, and then we can just kind of, not that I have all of the answers because I'm not even going to pretend like I have all of the answers, but I might have some of the answers, or we can just talk through the tea. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, this is this and this is that, right? I do kind of want to go back through a couple of things. One thing is, I know we've talked about this so many times. What does Shirley know? What does she not know? Can she be this dumb? What's really going on here? Is she naive? Is she sheltered because she's 70? I mean, excuse me, 69, almost 70, whatever she is. There's always a debate of how old Shirley is, or how young, however you guys want to take that. What Shirley's age is. At the end of the day, I think there is some evidence or some speculation to the direction that Shirley could actually even be a suspect. I mean, she definitely behaves suspect. Is she actually a suspect? Has she been ruled out? I don't know, because, Shirley says she's not a victim. She hasn't been fooled. Well, we know she knew she. Hold on one second. I'm sorry. I can't. Uh, we know she knew, she already knew he was an ex-con. We knew that, girl. And if she didn't know, she found out, right? So I was trying to think of all, like, forget about what we know at this point. It's like, damn, like, the questions, but it's also like, damn, Shirley, were you and Nesto ever legally married? I mean, I really want to find out who married them and call and say, hey, do you recall marrying Shirley Strawberry and Ernesto Williams? Um, did you sign their document? Did you sign their marriage license? And did you send it in to the city? Because when I got married, our pastor, we all signed we signed, our maid of honor, our best man signed, the pastor signed, and he took the form, put it in the envelope that it came in, and was like, we'll get this mailed out on Monday. And I was like, oh, I don't need, like, we don't need to do that, or I don't need to do that. He said, no, we take it from here. The pastor took it. Okay. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but the pastor took our form and he sent that thing in. And I don't know, maybe like a month had gone by. I don't think they asked us if we wanted to prepay for the actual certificate, but I called maybe like a month after we'd gotten married and asked them, like, hey, did you guys get my form back? And da da da. And they're like, yes, you can come pick up your certified copies or whatever. And I think I got 3 copies. She was like, you need to get at least 3. And she said, for some reason, people always lose one. And she said, your husband might want a copy. And then just a copy, just a good old copy. And maybe they were $5 a piece. I don't remember, but I know we have 3 actual um raised engraving, stamped, sealed copies. Um so I don't know. I would love to know who married them, and to find out, does the pastor recall signing the form and sending it in? Because I mean, we know that he was not. Aside from that, we know Ernesto in the grand scheme of things in 2023, he wasn't even suited to get married anyway, right? For many reasons, on top of he was already legally married to someone else. Shirley got lost in the sauce of Bentleys and bags, but Shirley was making good money. Shirley could have had her own Bentleys and bags. I mean, damn. There's people out here living good on some radio personality salaries right now. Okay. And I know 2023 is different, but damn it, she's still working in 2023. So where's her money at? You know what I'm saying? Like Shirley should have her own money, right? Am I wrong about that? So is that a question? Was Shirley ever really married? We know Nesto's not legal, right? Was Shirley ever? I'm gonna be honest. I don't care about her first husband. If she's a baby mom to Sheridan's daddy, I don't care. I really don't. If Shirley is true to this, then she's probably not really married to Nesto either, because Nesto ain't married to her. Okay. But was Shirley ever legally, as far as they would know it today, like let's take out the fact that Ernesto's already married because they shouldn't have been getting married anyway. But was there ever any paperwork processed? You know, was Shirley ever legally married? Can we listen to the affidavit one more time that was dropped about 3 months ago? Because knowing what we know now about Ernesto, the fact that she said that that ninja could come home, are you guys not still like caught up in that? Because I am. Let's listen to this real quick, okay? Let me um let's listen to this. Over here to Chronicle Speaks. She has a T channel, reaction channel, whatever you want to call it, blog. And Sis is dropping the information regarding the affidavit, if you will. So if you can just bear with me. Hold, let me pull this up for just a moment. Let's hear what Sis is dropping over here. Okay. All right. And this part right here that she's getting ready to read, we already saw that play out. If you missed that, go to the video that I just dropped before this live.
Told to stay away from animals. So let's get into this strawberry letter written by Miss Shirley Strawberry herself. This is her affidavit. My name is Shirley Strawberry. I am over 21 years of age and I reside in Fulton County, Georgia. The facts in this declaration are based upon my own personal knowledge. I am the wife of defendant. My husband is listed defendant in case number before the Fulton County Superior Court. I have been told in one or more cases pending before the court, I have been identified as either a victim of his or witness to a purported criminal act of his, to which I respond that I am neither. It is my intention that the court know once and for all that I am not afraid of my husband, that I wish for him to be released with no conditions as regards me, that I wish for him to be able to reside with me or wherever he elects to reside, and that his release be effectuated immediately. It is further any declaration that I have never made known to anyone at any time prior or since his arrest any desire contrary to that which is contained in this affidavit. And if any contrary understanding has been previously conveyed to this court or any other, they have been deceived. I have not been threatened, coerced, nor harassed in any way by any person to cause me to issue this declaration. So say I, Shirley Strawberry. Now, according to the assistant district attorney, there's like 15 more charges coming through. And at that time, I'm not sure if Miss Shirley Strawberry will be still standing by her man.
Okay. So yeah, we've seen all of that. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot and it's unfortunate. As I stated, it's really, really unfortunate. You know, when you're bringing someone new into your life, how that play out. If you missed that, go to the video that I just dropped before this live.
Told to stay away from animals. So let's get into this strawberry letter written by Miss Shirley Strawberry herself. This is her affidavit. My name is Shirley Strawberry. I am over 21 years of age and I reside in Fulton County, Georgia. The facts in this declaration are based upon my own personal knowledge. I am the wife of defendant. My husband is listed defendant in case number before the Fulton County Superior Court. I have been told in one or more cases pending before the court, I have been identified as either a victim of his or witness to a purported criminal act of his, to which I respond that I am neither. It is
So she's saying she's not a victim and she hadn't seen anything. I hadn't seen anything and he hadn't done anything to me. It's my intention that the court know once and for all I am not afraid of my husband and that I wish for him to be released with no conditions as it regards to me. That I wish for him to be able to reside with me or wherever he elects to reside, and that his release be effectuated immediately. It is further my declaration that I have never made known to anyone at any time prior or since his arrest my desire contrary to that which is contained in this affidavit. And if contrary understandings have been previously conveyed to this court or any other, they have been deceived. They lied to you. Okay. So basically what she's saying is she's not afraid. She's not afraid of her husband and she wishes for him to be released. He can live with her, he can live wherever he desires, and that it be done immediately. It is also that she wants it to be known that prior to or since his arrest, any desire contrary to that, it's false. You've been lied to. I've never said that. Okay. Let's listen to this one little more time and then we're gonna go somewhere else.
Georgia. The facts in this declaration are based upon my own personal knowledge. I am the wife of defendant. My husband is listed.
And this is the case right here. 22SC. I'm going to try and look that up. 22SC 184402. That's the case. Okay.
Defendant in case number before the Fulton County Superior Court. I have been told in one or more cases pending before the court, I've been
told pending before the court that I have been identified as either a victim of his or a witness to a purported criminal act of his, to which I respond that I am neither. It is my intention that the court know once and for all, blase, blase. Okay. Are we getting all of this? Yeah, I mean, I wonder, is she still on the evidence list? Let's just entertain. Are you guys up to listen to this bail hearing one more time? The not the original one, but the one that was posted. I think this was like the end of June, because this is when the affidavit was submitted. The lawyer, the public defender lawyer, states that he has an affidavit from Mrs. Strawberry, Mrs. Williams, let's say, Shirley Strawberry. And I just think that every time I listen to this, I get a better understanding of what the hell's going on, because it just becomes clearer and clearer and clearer as he says it becomes worser and worser. So let's just entertain another go round, because also they mention names of people. There's someone I reached out to on this list. Girl, and sis blocked me. Okay. There was, so in part 2, Pam Esquire mentions a financial crime that occurred, right? And they identified someone named Bickham. Okay. And are you laughing because I got blocked on Instagram? I'm always getting blocked by someone on Instagram. It's like, damn, I'm just out here doing my job. I'm just doing my YouTube streets job. And it's like, you don't have to block me. I am not a bugaboo. Last thing I do is bugaboo people, because I don't. Anyway, the person identified as Bickham, I reached out to them and let me tell you what I said. Hold on. I was like, well, damn, let's do this. Let's listen to the list. Therefore, the name will already be out, because this is this is a situation. And then I'll read you the note, because sis blocked me. Whatever. It's like, whatever, sis. Like, I'm okay. Like, my feelings are not hurt. I'm just out here doing my job. Bougie Gang would not be happy with me if I was not out here doing my job. Right? Okay. Is this the right hearing or is this the other hearing? Yes, this is the one. Okay.
Right.
Very well. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, Ernest Williams. Don't let that lady back in. Ernest Williams, wave your hand. Hey, all right, here we go. It's position. It's those 4 cases, I think, for Mr. Williams. Position 2 is 22 CP 210-500, 355 days without indictment. There's a $15,000 bond as of 10/31/22 for theft by deception. Let's see, 22 CP 211078. Ernest Williams, 355 days without indictment. $75,000 good bond as of December the 31st, 2022, with 3 counts of conspiracy to commit a felony. Position 4 is 22 CP 212559, 355 days without indictment with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 counts of conspiracy to commit a felony, and there is a $20,000 split bond as of 10/17/2022. Position 5, 355 days without indictment, 23 CP 215407. I'm assuming you want me to waive, Mr. Lewis?
Sure.
All right.
I don't think he has this public defender anymore. Let's just let the record show. I think the last bail hearing we saw with Judge Manning, he was with someone else. Also, mark your calendars because there's supposed to be another hearing. I don't know if it's a bail hearing or it's with the actual judge of his case on October 17th. So I need to mark that down. 10/17, we have court, guys. I'm going to do my best to try to find out like what it's going to be. Is it going to be on Zoom? And is it something that we could watch live? October 17th, there's supposed to be more court. Can't wait.
I can say it if you want me to, or do you want me to waive?
I don't think Ms. Williams cares. Well, wait, Judge.
All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 other felonies on there that have to do with the nudity, let's say. No bond as of January the 13th, 20.
It's like Judge Manning. Can you just say it? Like, if he's going to do it, like, I just feel like, in a way, even though it doesn't seem like he's getting special treatment, I feel like he's getting special treatment because at the end of the day, let's just say it contains nudity. Like, what the fuck?
23.
So in regards to Mr. Williams, still other open cases, 22 SC 18443, theft by taking, theft by deception, 22 SC 184-402, theft of services, deposit account fraud. Both of those are assigned to Judge Edwards. Nothing further.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Lewis.
All right, Judge. You mentioned all the days on Mr. Williams. I don't find it to be a good use of anybody's time to go back through all of that. I believe Mr. Williams, my client, is now 59 years old. When I believe when this case first began, he was 58 years of age. Judge, he was born in Augusta, Georgia. He has lived in the Atlanta area since 1994. From 2015 to 2019, he lived in California. He got married in 2015, Judge. He is the father of 6 kids and 4 grandchildren, some of them in the state of Georgia. His oldest granddaughter is a student at Georgia State University. Judge, he has owned grooming parlors, some barbershops.
I think Mr. Lewis, Mr. Crail, or whatever his name is, it says Crail Lewis. I'll have to look that up and see if that's actually valid. Maybe it's supposed to be Craig. I don't know. But anyway, he just was not ready for what Ernesto had in store. But I also would love to know. So that's another question. Too. What happened? And let's outside of the obvious of the money, what happened to BC? What happened to Mr. Lewis? Like, why is he going through so many lawyers? BC probably, he thought BC had it bagged for him. BC got him out of trouble the first time 10 years ago for the same charges, right? When Ernesto and Shirley got, I'll say, quote unquote, married, for a couple different reasons, I'll say, quote unquote, he was just getting cleared from 2 theft by taking charges already, or theft by deception. So what?
Both in Peachtree and Far Road, as well as in Sandy Springs. He sold some businesses, some land to the city of Atlanta in
stole.
2016 from those first sets of business. In 2021, he opened a new location, Nesto's Grooming, which is down from the old location. That business has been dissolved partially because of what is going on today with him sitting in. So in other words, he's losing money from his businesses from being in here. And that has been testified also to by one of the law enforcement officers from Roswell. He had owned an unarmed security service, Nesto's Elite Security Company, where he had a number of 1099 persons working for him. Judge, my client has a number of felonies in his past. Those felonies go all the way back to the 80s. He's got he's got one in 2008, which looks like it is a merger, meaning when they're doing the sentence on one, they're doing the sentence on the other. And there is a deal, and my client decides to take the deal. His wife resides in Buckhead, and you will see, I think that is the Buckhead community. She doesn't say Buckhead on her affidavit, but she does reside in Fulton County and in Buckhead. Judge, his history, there's nothing in the last 10 years. He's never been one of these cases accused him of attempting to pass somebody off as a lawyer. His co-defendant in that case has a consent signature bond that has been signed off on. I believe Mr. Majeski can tell you more about that when he's to it. He has never himself been involved or accused or convicted of anything that involves a person passing themselves off as a lawyer or impersonating anybody ever in life. This last case that came about involves, if my understanding is correct, and I don't know because I haven't received discovery on it since it hasn't been indicted, a single photograph that was found on a computer that the prosecution, well, not even the prosecution at this point, I guess it's still the police because it's not indicted or accused, claimed was my client's and that he was in possession of either the computer or the photograph that's on there. My client has never been accused of anything involving nudity or anything else with children. He has been convicted of things like armed robbery in his past, and that occurred in Cobb County. I believe he was sentenced to 5 years back then on that. Bank fraud when he came to pick up a check that they said was cleared, and he was arrested on the scene. That's his federal case. So that's the kind of stuff my client has been convicted of in his past. And so far, nothing else has happened on these cases. The oldest you quoted the dates on, the youngest you quoted the dates on, all of those dates are beyond the 90 days, some of them beyond 180 days. So what I'm asking for, Judge, is on every last one of these cases, if and where you can, that you enter in a unsecured judicial release that mirrors his co-defendant on one case that she has with him that was consented to, and on another case where there's 14 counts where she engages or is alleged to have engaged in similar behavior as to what she is accused of in this case. On the rest of them, Judge, I'm asking for a UJR, but in no instance of an amount of a bond greater than $5,000 per count. On one of the bonds, I believe that you signed, Judge, you tell him he can't be with his wife. I'm going to ask that you.
Is that Melody Scretchen?
No, it's the other lady, the SS lady.
Oh, Strawberry.
Yeah. So if you don't mind, let him be with his wife.
He was trying to, I just don't get how. I mean, Shirley is not Steve Harvey. Shirley is not a billionaire. Shirley is obviously not even a millionaire. Shirley is a regular woman out here on these streets. And yes, she does have a high profile job, but clearly, sis, it's just the preferential treatment of it all, of not wanting to read off all of his charges. But I bet you these other guys got their charges read off on this Zoom hearing. Nobody tried to be extra kind for everyone else. But why is it that Ernesto gets to have the luxury of not being held to account publicly for his disgusting ways? Either his scamming ways or his proclivity to nasty shit. You know what I mean? However you want to say it or hear it. At the end of the day, this is ridiculous. Anyway, Let's just keep going.
Before we end up having a divorce matter in Fulton County. Judge, also, you tell him he can't reside. I have an affidavit. His wife is a person of some public notoriety. She asked, she's given me the affidavit, Judge. I did not file it in because if it's filed, she likes to kind of remain private where she can, when she can. And so she asked that you take the necessary measures. If you want that filed in the court, we can do that. We can publish it directly to you right now, so that her address doesn't become common knowledge for her public. Although she loves her public to death, she wants some privacy occasionally as well. And so that's what we're asking for, Judge. I believe that's the sum total of it. I'm sorry.
So the affidavit that we just listened to, if you missed that, slide the bar back. We were listening to that affidavit that he is referring to is the affidavit where Shirley says, and I quote, "I have been told that in some or more cases pending before the court, I have been identified as either a victim or of one of his or a witness to a purported criminal act of his, to which I respond, I am neither. So no, I'm not a victim and I have not seen anything, period, right? It is my intention that the court know once and for all that I am not afraid of my husband and I wish him to be released with no conditions as it regards to me. And I wish for him to be able to reside with me or wherever he elects to reside, and that his release be effectuated immediately. So nothing pending on my part, and you're not gonna and don't hold him back on my part. And as furthermore, I want him to live with me or wherever he decides to go. But I would like for him to be released as soon as possible. Also, it is my declaration and that I've never made known to anyone at this time or prior or since his arrest any desire contrary. And if that has to that which is contained in this affidavit, and if a contrary understanding has been previously conveyed to the court for any other, they have been deceived. So if you've heard anything other than what I'm telling you in this affidavit, it's a lie, basically. So that this is what, when he's talking about an affidavit from Miss Strawberry and that he doesn't want her address released or become public because it will be public. This is the affidavit that he's referring to.
Privacy occasionally as well. And so that's what we're asking for, Judge. I believe that's the sum total of it. I'm sorry. There are two other matters that my client has in his history that I've been told of, but I haven't been provided with anything on. I understand that he has a warrant for a misdemeanor case out of Henry County that's still awaiting. And I've been told that there's a matter in California that the California doesn't want to extradite. I can't provide you. I wish I could give you more on that, but I can't. I don't have it.
So the charges in California, we've known about that for a long time. I know that's been discussed recently in the past few weeks or past month or so, what's going on in California, but they're not looking to extradite on those charges. We know that, what is it, Henry County or something? He's got a detainer. I mean, sir has a lot of situations. So basically he can't go back to California, because if he goes back to California, it's basic to me. It's one of those, we're not coming looking for you, but if you come to California, we're going to get you. So basically it's almost like a don't come back to California. Like, that's the way I take it.
All right. So that's my request. And I thank you for hearing me.
All right, Ms. Patton?
Yes, Your Honor.
Hold on. This will be Kevin Majeski for the state judge, and this will also be ADA Lisa Taylor. I wish I could be quick on this one, Judge. This is an extremely dangerous person we're dealing with here, and there's going to be numerous upcoming warrants coming in this case. I believe Roswell told us today when we checked for an update. Before the 13th, there's going to be about 15 plus more warrants coming his direction, serious felonies in there, for sure. The reason it was the 13th was so particular is because the last time that these particular cases were heard was in the month of January by Judge Belinda Edwards. She actually heard all the CP cases, and she also heard all the SC cases. Then she entered a ruling on one of the SC cases on the record, and for whatever reason, didn't put anything else on the record for the other ones. But Mr. Lewis and I had about, I think it was a 2.5 hour bond motion on that particular one that day. This will be considerably shorter.
So are you hearing what he's saying? Last time he was in court, in Judge Edwards was in January. She talked about the CP cases and the SC cases, but they did not talk about the other cases. And that was in what? January. So when we hear him on the phone talking about, and this is in November, but fast forward to some of the calls that we've heard in 2023, and he's like, they forgot 6 charges, or they haven't talked about this or that. I went to court and they still hadn't talked about this, that, or the third. There's only been a handful of, I wouldn't say a handful, but maybe a little bit more than a handful of 23 calls, because he knows when they called him a flight risk, they'd heard him talking to Shirley, I guess, about Abu Dhabi. I still have not heard her talk to him about, like Steve said, you come to my apartment, or her boss or whatever. But we did hear him and Sonia like, hey, what's the plans for me when I get out? What are you going to do? What you got planned for me? What's it going to be like? And she's like, well, you can't come to Florida because of your bail and da, 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 da. And he's like, well, we don't know about that. Right. I think that's one of the things that got him an ankle monitor in 2023 in these bail hearings, because when he went from someone who they were trying to kind of maybe work with on a bond, which I don't even think they were really trying to work with him like that. But when he's over here talking to Sonia on the phone about what you got planned for me, boo-boo, and you don't know where I'm going to be, I think that made them think like, you know what? He could be a flight risk from this jurisdiction. So we're going to need to put an ankle monitor, and we're going to need to, and maybe they just felt like they could just slow walk this thing through, which is what they're doing. But you hear him say it had been basically 5 months since he'd been back into court on this.
Yes. But Judge Edwards heard them back then. And if you note the bond order that she did file in, I believe was on 22 SC 184403. She denied bond in that case and left the no bond in 22 SC 184402, noting that he was an extreme likelihood to commit additional felonies. Going back to his history, Judge, of course, as Mr. Lewis correctly stated, starts in the 80s. He has a laundry list of crimes of moral turpitude.
We've looked at his Fulton County register already. But let's look at this. Can you guys see this? Okay. You guys are going to be able to see this better than me right now. This is a form that was filed back in 2015 regarding his, let me see if I can see this. Where am I? Okay. This is a notice of basically like a repeat offender notice. So this is regarding Ernesto, or Ernest L. Williams. These are some of his crimes that have been listed to have him be basically basically a notice of repeat offender. And his theft by taking, armed robbery. I mean, look at so Fulton County, Georgia unknown, Fulton County, Cobb, Gwinnett, Douglas. I mean, he's got 2 armed robberies, 3 theft by taking. I mean, he's a mess. And it seems like he started very early, because if conviction date is 1979 and he was born in like 1965, he basically came out the gate as a teenage offender, basically, right? So that has to be a teenage crime. 91, 89, 2006, 91, like 93. Like, his lawyer is over here trying to talk about he hasn't had anything in 10 years. He had something in 10 years. And in 10 years, they decided to not convict on that theft by taking. That was the one from 2015. But this was all filed in 2015 because they had the other 2 theft by taking cases. And BC was his lawyer. I showed you guys that last week. BC was his lawyer. And for some reason, they gave him a no low prosecution, which I guess meant that, girl, not sealed. Well, the whole crime is not sealed, but there was clearly some sort of situation that was filed on this particular document, right? So it's a mess, right? And wait, let me see. Let's go back to that one. Okay. Oops. Girl, let me look at me getting fancy trying to have multiple share screens. Um so they so he is a repeat offender. That's my point. He's a repeat offender, and his lawyers over here talking about he hasn't had anything in 10 years. He had crimes in the past 10 years. They just hadn't been convicted.
That he's committed multiple armed robberies. There was the one in Cobb, but he also committed another one in Douglas County as well. About 10
Okay.
years
That's what he's talking about right there. Okay. Douglas, Cobb, Gwinnett.
custody for that, short custody time in the first one, 10 years in the next one. Then, of course, false statements, multiple FTAs, probation violations, and the bank fraud, which he actually did get federal time for as well. So it was a little bit more complicated than it was held out to be today. He's an AMC recidivist. To address Mr. Lewis's statements that he made about the California cases. It's true, he does actually have 2 warrants for his arrest out of California. Those are, as Mr. Lewis said, non-extradition warrants that he has present in both those cases. And we have the reports and the warrants in those cases in our file. They have to deal, both of those cases have to do with transporting stolen cars back here to Atlanta, actually, is what it says in both of those reports. One of them was out of LA County and one of them was out of Orange County, I believe. And then, of course, there is the case that the other county in Georgia has to hold on him for as well, Judge. When it comes down to these particular cases, I will note for the court that he does, I believe it's on case number 22 CP 212559. That case became kind of like an amalgamation of a few cases when it got entered in the clerk's office. I believe there's 3 charges on there that have no bond currently. We did address that in front of Judge Edwards, as Mr. Lewis could tell you as well, last time we were there, and I agreed with him. He was entitled to a bond then, still is now. And I had proposed, when Mr. Lewis and I had talked, a bond of $25,000 per on those particular charges. The reason I proposed that particular bond is because that particular bond mirrored what he had in the other case, which was $25,000 good as well. Judge, we consider this person to be a flight risk. We have jail calls where he's talking about going to see his girlfriend in Florida.
Okay. Going to see his girlfriend in Florida. I know that there's lots of different talk about where Sonia is, where Sonia isn't. Look, if you know how you can do a reverse caller ID check, if you have the call log, you have her phone number. You take that phone number, you put it into Google, it comes up with a name, and that phone number is in Florida. Now, just because someone has a Florida number doesn't mean they live in Florida. I know that, right? But at the end of the day, I think he would have been, if that document was right, 12 and we've seen 12 and 14-year-olds doing the most, okay? I think I saw on TMZ the other day a little boy at football practice, and I'm not sure what went down, but he went to the car and got a whole firearm and started, shooting at his teammates. Like, shit is real out here. So, you know what I'm saying? A kid going robbing something, I can believe it. We've seen that. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that he was one of those, right? Yes, I do believe Sonia is her real name. And I do believe she's in Florida, because if they are calling it girlfriend in Florida, I'm sure they did some checking into, and the checking into is not hard to do, right?
Multiple times, actually. We have a call.
The funny thing is, just look at the eyeballs. Look at the other people sitting in on the Zoom hearing. Like, what the fuck? Especially this guy, right? This guy here is really into it. Number 45, but is it 45 or 4S? 3S is like, damn, this one here too. They're listening to the case like, wow, okay. Just watch everyone's reaction on these cases.
Case, which was $25,000 good as well. Judge, we consider this person to be a flight risk. We have jail calls where he's talking about going to see his girlfriend in Florida. Multiple times, actually. We have a call where
this guy puts his head down.
Going to stay in her boss's house. I'm going to leave out all the names here, as Mr. Lewis did as well. About her boss's house in Abu Dhabi, which is, of course, quite far away from here, quite far removed from any court's jurisdiction here. Actually, we have a call where he was talking with his wife about going to stay in her boss's house. I'm going to leave out all the names here, as Mr. Lewis did as well. Judge, we consider this person to be a flight risk. We have jail calls where he's talking about going to see his girlfriend in Florida.
So you already know. I mean, and this is maybe 3-4 months ago. We know why he stopped talking on his phone, right? On his pin. I think because someone came and was like in my comments and said, "You're just guessing. You don't." Of course, I don't know that man. I don't know him. He doesn't know me, and I don't know him. But what I know is I have a log and I see missed calls, and he's got to be getting calls from somewhere. So I think he's either calling people and hanging up. So like, "Hey guys, I'm by my phone. Call the new pin I gave you." Okay, but he's not talking on his phone. Okay? I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to trust me. If there were calls on the log from last week, you'd have heard him by now.
Multiple times, actually. We have a call where he was talking with his wife about going to stay in her boss's house. I'm going to leave out all the names here, as Mr. Lewis did as well, about her boss's house in Abu Dhabi, which is, of course, quite far away from here, quite far removed from any court's jurisdiction here. And just the general scheme that's been going on here. Judge, when we were last in front of Judge Edwards, she put us on the clock, said, you guys got to get this done. You guys got to get this investigation done. We've been working with Roswell off and on, talking to them to see where their investigation is. It's on schedule. It will be done by the 13th. It'll be served with, like I said, 15 plus new warrants, some of which are very serious that this court, just to put it out there, that this court may not even be able to consider, unfortunately. We have to.
Everyone in the, well, I guess where it says Booth, yes, those are offenders, but where it says Kevin Majeski, Chris White, Crail Lewis, Joe Brown. I mean, if you're in a booth, you are more than likely sitting in the jailhouse. Okay.
To be considered by a sitting elected Superior Court judge. And for that reason, I would have to recommend the $25,000 per on the 22 CP 212559. I believe that the other ADA Taylor, has something to say about 23 CP 215407 and the state's recommendation for bond in that particular matter, Judge.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Taylor.
Good evening, Your Honor. Yes, as Mr. Majeski has stated, he's considered dangerous. There are several pending warrants that will be coming out that, based on their content alone, there's a great likelihood that he's someone who commit further felonies. Furthermore, without mentioning the facts of the case in front of us, children were involved. The state is requesting a bond, knowing that he has to have a bond because it's been well over 200 days, a bond of $200,000 per count, giving us a grand total of $800,000 bond for the case involving the exploitation. There are 4 separate counts there. As standard, I would also request that there be an ankle monitor placed on Mr. Williams, as well as that he surrender his passport, not leave Fulton County, have no internet access at all, and no contact with any minors or animals. But again, he's met all the Ayala factors. He's a flight risk, as evidenced by phone calls that we've heard.
Okay. All right.
Judge, just one more thing. If the court is inclined to grant a bond on this, which would seem released, this state does have a number of people we would be requesting no contact with as well.
All right.
Before you go, I'm sorry, Mr. Majeski, finish up.
Oh, no problem. Melody Scretchen.
Okay.
Now, Melody Scretchen, I don't know who that is.
Gail Bickham.
Bickham is the one who was mentioned. If you go to Pam's part 2, Pam Esquire, part 2, they talked about the lady who cashed out her Mercedes and sent $90,000. He talked her into buying a damn motor coach. That would be Bickham.
Alasia Alexander.
You don't know who Alasia is.
Leilani Waits. That's THW. Miles Williams.
Don't know. I wonder if that's one of his kids.
Lakeisha Williams.
Lakeisha Williams is one of his daughters.
Brianna Jordan.
Brianna Jordan. I don't know who that is yet.
Deborah Johnson. Sheridan Strawberry.
We know who Sheridan Strawberry and her kids are, and that could be because of the alleged forgery or use of her name to lease the property over at, 990 Pine Grove?
And her kids. Olivia Washington.
Okay.
And Erica King.
Erica King is his co-defendant. She's not a victim. She's a co-defendant. So obviously there's a no contact order because he is not to talk to his co-defendant. She may not want to talk to him, but he might want to talk to her for obvious reasons.
Or Erica Hughley. That was the person.
Erica King, Erica Hughley, same person, different aliases.
Mr. Lewis was referring to earlier, who is her co-defendant in this particular matter, Judge. And yes, the court did, as noted, we did enter into consent bond with her. That was for reasons, of course, that we're not discussing here in court today.
So they did a consent bond, the judicial bond, where and he said for reasons we're not discussing at this moment. This is a video that I've already posted, guys, that you're listening to right now. Hold on. Okay. So there's music in here. I don't want to hear anything in the comments about the music. We've dealt with the music. Over here, you guys don't like music. On Love Lies and Lace Fronts, they don't mind it. Okay. But I do my content the way I do my content. But I hear you, and that's been noted. So no need to drop any comments about how I publish my content. I like to make sure that everyone is, that you guys are getting what you want. And that I'm also getting to kind of put my content out the way that I want to. But in any case, no matter what, this is a video that's 3 months old and I can't go back in time. But we're listening to the content at this moment. We're not listening to the music. So if music bothers you, if you're someone who doesn't like music, ignore it. Okay.
Okay. Anything else, Mr. Lewis?
Yes, Judge. One other thing, and I would. So the other thing that I've got, Judge, is although Mr. Majeski speaks of these things, and so does Ms. Taylor. There was no evidence offered to any of these things that are now being alluded to during that hearing that lasted for 2.5 hours. None of it. There was, and I permitted it, Judge, during the closing argument of the state, I permitted them to talk. I didn't object to any of it. Where promises were made about upcoming charges upcoming to Judge Edwards. And we have made it from January 31st all the way now to June the 26th. And we're told that in the future, something will be coming. I'm asking this court to give the future no credit whatsoever, because we had a whole bunch of future between January 31st and June the 30th. And if we keep on giving the future credit where things don't show up, we'll have a person sitting in jail who hasn't, not the issue of not being convicted, but not even accused and being held. And so I'm going to ask the court, reiterate my request to you before, UJR, no more than 5,000 counting everything. And I did not hear Ms. Taylor tell us whether that was more than one picture in those 5 counts or not, but I thought it was one picture, or at least I believe that's what Mr. Majeski told me, but it's been so long ago since he talked about that. I can't rightfully remember right now. Thank you.
It's 4.
Your
I
Honor.
can, no, it's 4.
Yes, ma'am, Ms. Clark. Ms.
Yeah,
Taylor,
Mr.
sorry.
Mr. Majeski addressed it. There were numerous images, actually. And as a matter of fact, the reason the case is still ongoing, the investigation is ongoing. Several more witnesses have come forward between January and now. They're still coming forward. We're trying to have a thorough investigation before we just indict. We can't just.
I got you. All right. Bob South, booth 1. Head up, everybody.
Hold on a second. Look at this guy. Crail Lewis. Okay, sir. I am a South Florida native. I studied both criminology and economics at the great Florida State University. Graduated in 1989. Post-baccalaureate studies, Georgia State University for 1 year. Then I went on to study at John Marshall Law School. Graduated in 2000. So in 2001 and graduated in 2004. Okay. The law offices of Crail Lewis. Okay. And the law offices of Crail Lewis, full service law firm. Our practice areas include criminal, traffic, DUI, micro and small business law and litigation and assembly and accessibility enforcement litigation. We represent both individuals and micro small businesses as defined by Small Business Administration. We practice in these areas to and represent these types of clients to improve the lives of our clients and their families. I don't know what happened. Ernesto, you couldn't make a payment plan? I don't know what happened, but I think he was a public defender lawyer. Our attorneys just won how we work, initial consultation, retainer agreement, payment schedule and payment privilege and ongoing communication. So if you don't come out through with number 3, if you don't get on the payment schedule and payment, the privilege and ongoing communication probably stops. It's like a little wheel. The wheel has to be fed for the wheel to continue to work. If you don't make the payment, you don't get the privilege and the ongoing communication, I would imagine, right? There's open line of communication between the attorney and the client in most instances through my case and the office line. Okay. Zoom meetings can be arranged with our clients or contact over the phone. Okay. Let's get back to the rest of the hearing. We're in court right now. We're going to finish up.
Working all day. Sit up straight. There you go. All right. Position 2 ending in 0500. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. You must surrender your passport to Mr. Lewis. Mr. Lewis will put it in his safe that he has with all his money locked up in. Cannot leave Fulton County, cannot leave the state of Georgia. Stay away from 7100 Suttles Drive. No drugs, no alcohol, no weapons.
7100 Suttles Drive. I wonder. Hold on, let me. 7100 Suttles Drive. Where is that? In Atlanta. It's near Cupcake Sweet Bakery. 7100 Suttles Drive. I don't know who's that's what she said. Stay away from 7100 Suttles Drive. Whoever's place that is.
You're gonna have a 24-hour curfew with an ankle monitor paid for by the county. You can leave for court, medical, employment, attorney's visits, and job as long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment, schedule, the exact location it'll need to be working. It'll obviously need to be in Fulton County. No further contact with Melody Scretchen, Scretchen. If you got all that right on that one, that'll be a $5,000 good bond. Position 3, ending in 1078. 5,000 each count. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no further contact with Erica Hughley, Shirley Strawberry, Erica, let's see, Brandon, oh goodness, okay, let's see, Gail Blickham, Alana Alexandra, you said, Layla, oh gosh, you got to go, Mila Williams.
Judge and deputy clerk, I think it was Hunter.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah,
requested I send her all the names. I'm going to be doing that as soon as you.
All right, good. You rattled those off. So those names: cannot leave Georgia, cannot leave Fulton County, must surrender your passport to Mr. Lewis. Like I said, he'll stick it away where he's got all his money. All right,
Judge, clear it up for me, please. You mentioned Shirley Strawberry. You did not mean to mention Shirley Strawberry. Is that correct?
Sheridan.
Sheridan. Okay. Yes.
Sheridan. Sorry, Sheridan.
Okay.
So Sheridan Strawberry, Sheridan. I apologize. I've marked through that. That's why I guess I'm
okay.
Right. You got the ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew. Court, lawyer, medical visits, employment. As long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment, schedule, the exact location you'll be working, and you can just lift all those on that one, Ms. Hunter. Position 4, ending in 2559. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. You have ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew. Court, lawyer, medical, employment. As long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment, schedule, the exact location you'll be working. No further contact with your co-defendant, Erica Hughley. And here I've got Sheridan Strawberry and Amanda Johnson. No further contact with them. 5,000 on each count. Position 5407, no drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. You're gonna have ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew. Court, lawyer, medical, employment, as long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment schedule, the exact location you'll be working. Can't leave Fulton County. You have to turn over your passport to Mr. Lewis. No further contact with anyone under the age of 18. No social media, no internet access. Surrender your passport, like I said, and you cannot leave Fulton County. 200,000 on each count. Best of luck to you, sir.
Judge, are you appending that language too? If in fact he's got that hold in Henry County that the ankle monitor gets fitted upon return?
Yeah, he'll have 48 hours to have the ankle monitor placed on his ankle if there's a Henry County.
Right. Okay.
I think I covered everything, right? Internet access and or animals. Animals. I've got animals. No contact with any animals of any kind.
Okay. No animals. Gotcha.
All right. Thank you much, Mr. Lewis. Best of luck to you, sir. You can leave the booth.
A mess. Okay. It's like when you go back and listen to these now, it's like you hear so much more because we didn't know what we know now 3 months ago, right? We didn't know all of that. Okay. Now we know more, right? This was something that came up the other day, the pressure versus precious. Look, it would have been so appropriate if he said, no, it would have been inappropriately appropriate, because he seems to have something against Sheridan. And him calling her precious would not be a reach. But in any case, he did. I'm willing to say he said pressure. Absolutely. It just kind of, he talks about Sheridan so much, it just wouldn't surprise me. Give me just a second. What else did I want to talk about? We're going to do a reaction later today, guys. So if you're not subscribed to Love Lies and Lace Fronts, meet me over there later on this afternoon, like I'll say like 5ish, 6 o'clock. We're gonna do a live reaction over there, okay? And I don't know which video we're gonna talk about. We might talk about the one that was posted yesterday, the one that was posted, I don't know, was it Friday morning maybe? I don't know. As a persona non grata as Nesto is, Shirley is equally simply, she is. Shirley knows what's going on. I think Shirley is definitely, this is my opinion, I think Shirley is definitely turning a blind eye to. What is she turning a blind eye to? I don't know. Like, that's on Shirley to figure out what exactly she seems to be turning a blind eye on, but sis is turning a damn blind eye. She is not looking at what's actually going on, and she is pretending that her husband is in doing business that I don't know that he's actually doing. I don't know what the man's doing. Only he knows, but he also knows why he's sitting in jail. My thing is your husband is sitting in jail for like the fourth time since you've been married, and it seems to be on similar things all the time, then he's got a history. So there's like, she can pretend all she wants, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. It just is what it is. So she can choose to believe that her husband is someone who he isn't. My suggestion to Shirley is for her to understand who you are dealing with, ma'am, and then start working from there. Like, there's no way that you're going to be able to figure this thing out with this man that you say you love if you continue to treat him like someone he's not, which is a criminal. You know what I mean? Like, he clearly has issues. Let's get into this hearing over here. Let's see where it starts. I think I let this play all the way through the first time. Let's see. Okay, I think I let it play the first time, like no interruptions. So let's see if we can catch this over here. Hold on. Let's see.
Has other history, but what's important, I guess, is he has 8 open cases to a
Two. Miss Rhonda, is she here or are you handling now, Mr. Olaf? Are you picking up the slack?
She should be.
So that's his new public defender right there, guys. Right here. Okay.
It's right there. There she goes.
Good evening, Your Honor. I'm here.
Okay. All right. So we'll take Ernest Williams first. Where is Ernest Williams? Hey, appreciate it, sir. Thank you. All right. We got Bostic here. I don't see Bostic. Or somebody from pretrial. No, there's Bostic. All right, you ready, Miss Holmes? Miss Bosky? Here we go. This is position 1 on one of the add-ons. This is Ernest Williams. There's 2 cases. So number 1 on the add-on is 23 CP 220152. Ernest Williams. It's 404 days without indictment.
Sure, Nesto gang gang. Hey Sylvia, let me tell you something. We're going through this. Like, I feel like I've said this once before already, so forgive me for repeating myself. I just feel like every time I listen to this, I hear something else I missed, or it's like, oh, okay, now I get it. Anyway, this part's only 9 minutes, and then we'll move on to something else, okay?
Not necessarily on this one, but these are new charges. I think they were just taken out. Theft by deception felony and 3 counts of financial transaction card fraud. All right, then we got 23 CP 220091 Ernest Williams, 404 days without indictment, 3 counts of theft by deception felony.
Whoop, I'm not sure what's going on. Hold on. What's happening here? Oh, man. Maybe there's something going on. Let me read. Okay, here we go.
220152 Ernest Williams. It's 404 days without indictment. Not necessarily on this one, but these are new charges. I think they were just taken out. Theft by deception felony and 3 counts of financial transaction card fraud. All right, then we got 23 CP 220091 Ernest Williams, 404 days without indictment, 3 counts of theft by deception felony. Rah!
Has other history, but what's important, I guess, is he has 8 open cases. 2 with Judge Edwards, 22 SC 104, theft by taking, theft by deception, theft of services, deposit account fraud. He got a few CWAC cases. Then there's the other theft by deception, 3 counts, CWAC case, the capital CWAC case. Then there's 2 cases with computer to commit felonies, 5 counts, and then there again 5 counts. Then there's another theft by deception.
So computer to commit felony. So computer maybe as in that's where the CP did she say financial? Let's see. Hold on.
Theft of services, deposit account fraud. He got a few CWAC cases. Then there's the other theft by deception, 3 counts, CWAC case, the capital CWAC case. Then there's 2 cases with computer to commit felonies, 5 counts, and then there again 5 counts. Then there's another theft by deception. Nothing further.
So we know that the CP photos were found in his computer. So again, I just want to say, because we don't know that the depictions were him, and these were images that included females and 4-legged creatures in some horrible acts. But it never said that these people were identified as anybody on any of these lists. And it also didn't say that Mr. Williams was in those photos or directing them. He was in possession of, right? Let's just be clear, that he was in possession of those images. It didn't say that he was orchestrating, photographing. But even when you are a purveyor, when you are cultivating a collection of, it's still a crime. It's still disgusting. It's still 2 steps away from potentially doing it yourself. So they were not him. Yeah, they weren't him. But it's just as much of a felony because a crime is still taking place. A person was still violated. These animals were violated. It's illegal. It's not permitted in our society. That's just something we don't engage in. In this I don't even know where in the world they even engage in that type of stuff legally, but here in this land, we do not. And it's hard to even talk about because we protect our children, and someone's child out there is being violated, and it's quite possible, a lot of this type of crime leads to murders. Kids are missing from home, never to be seen again, when they are trafficked in this manner, and it's absolutely disgusting and vile. And that makes him a dangerous person because he's trading in that. And the people that trade in those photos, those type of individuals, it's sick. And a lot of those people, they try to get it out of circulation because if you're going to look at the pictures, you might go act on it. This guy also had a appetite for women of small stature. Even though these women are adults, he seems to like tiny petite women, and maybe because he's got a fetish for people of a certain age that have not reached 18 yet. He's gross, guys. Like that's what the information states. He might have a defense against that. What it might be, I don't know, but according to some of the information that is in these documents says otherwise. And he just seems to be a guy who's living a double and triple life. And again, that's just my opinion on that. Let's listen to the rest of this, and then we're going to get into maybe some of you guys' comments from the comment section. You guys had some amazing. If I pin your comment, it's either something that's going to help someone else because you guys are all asking a similar question, or I feel like I need to bubble it up because it's something everybody needs to know. So I tried to bubble up a comment in every single video. You can only pin one comment at this time from the comment section, but definitely if after we put up a video and I pin it and you get that thing that says, your comment has been pinned, it's because it's going to be helpful to other people.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Rhonda.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Williams is 58 years old. He has been a resident of the state of Georgia for his entire life. He does have family here in the state, and that includes his 6 children who are all various grown ages. Mr. Williams did graduate high school. He went to Richmond Academy, and prior to his incarceration, he was employed. He had various businesses that he owned and operated. Since he has been incarcerated, those businesses have no one's been running them. And so since he's been in custody for 404 days, his financial status has been severely impacted. Your Honor, on position 1, which is the case ending in 152, Mr. Williams currently has a $40,000 bond, and I would ask Your Honor to reduce that bond not to exceed $25,000. And for position 2, which is the case that ends in 091, he's currently in no bond status, and I would ask Your Honor to set bond $8,000 per count. That's a total of $24,000. From pretrial, I did hear open cases, and I believe Your Honor is somewhat familiar with Mr. Williams as he has appeared before you with different representation, not with me. But I didn't hear pretrial mention any failure to appears. So there's no indication that Mr. Williams would be a flight risk or that he would not return to court to answer for his business with Fulton County. I know Mr. Williams is looking forward to his day in court, and so he would return to every and all future court dates. So Your Honor, again, on position 1, I'm asking the court to consider reducing the bond not to exceed $25,000. And on position 2, I'm asking for $8,000 apiece or per charge, so a total of $24,000.
All right, what says the state?
Hi, Judge.
Hey,
Yep.
Mr. Majeski.
Kevin Majeski for the state. Yeah, we've been here before on Mr. Williams. I know you know Mr. Williams well at this point, so I'm going to skip my normal verbose speech that you've heard a few times now and just cut to the chase. Ms. Rondon and I have actually talked earlier today, and we've talked about Mr. Williams' case on previous occasions as well, Judge. You know his history. There are a few FTAs on his GCIC, NCIC. You know, he's an ANC recidivist. You know everything. He's got a long and checkered history. Goes back to the 80s. Okay. On these cases right here, the state's position, especially since now we have compiled the entire report. We have received it since the last time we were in court here. Hold on, my Zoom just kicked off for some reason. There we go. We've compiled it since the last time we were in court. The narrative on him and all of his cases, it's about 224 pages long.
Did you guys hear that? The narrative, like the complete dossier, profile, paperwork, everything, 224 pages. That's a lot.
It's extensive. That includes everything that he is being charged with at this time, and including some things that he hasn't been, but will be taking direct warrants on as well. The state believes that the bonds are appropriate as set.
This is one of the most recent. This happened roughly, so whenever this one, this was August 16th that I streamed this, so I think this had happened that Monday. So this would have been August 14th. This would have been a hearing on August 14th. So this would have happened Monday night, I think, or Monday afternoon, and I streamed this on Wednesday. So
as they are right now, $40,000 on the 152 case ending in 152, and no bond on the case ending in 091. I think in myself and Deputy Winfrey with H. Tice, we've had the opportunity to meet about this case since the last time that we have been in this court as well. So we have a generalized plan going forward. We just need to figure out how we want to structure the indictments. Can be anywhere 3 right now, most likely, and then get it done, Judge. That's where we're at right now.
I thought, were there going to be some more CWAG charges, or is this it?
Come on
in, booth 2 north, booth 2. Come on in. Either come in and have a seat, or get out of the booth. 1 of 2 choices. Go ahead.
Oh, pretty much everything is as it's going to be right now. The only new charges, unless they find some new evidence, and I can tell you they are going through some additional stuff right now.
Sure.
So I should say I'm not sure at this point. Okay. To be completely honest with you, but I do know that they have a search warrant that they were doing, that they're executing on an item of evidence at this time. There may be, but everything's moving forward in the way that we had anticipated it going forward thus far, Judge. We're on track.
All right, and how much are you asking for?
Right now, 60 days.
I mean, how much on each count? Are you asking for continuance of 6 days?
Well, no. Yeah, I understand. I think that 091 is appropriate as set and 152 is appropriate as set too, both cases ending in those amounts.
All right. Casing in 0152. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. Stay away from 980 Pine Grove Road. No further contact with Melanie.
Stay away from, what was the address she said?
Each count. Are you asking for continuance of 6 days?
Well, no. Yeah, I understand. I think that 091 is appropriate as set and 152 is appropriate as set too, both cases ending in those amounts.
All right. Casing in 0152. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. Stay away from 980 Pine Grove Road. No further contact with Melanie. SCRETH.
Who is Melody Scretchen? So this is another address we heard. Earlier we heard stay away from 7100 Suttles Drive. Now we're hearing stay away from 9800 Pine Grove. Okay. Who is Melanie Scretchen?
EN. No further contact your co-defendant, Erica King. You can have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour
Don't contact Erica King.
curfew, court, lawyer, medical, employment. As long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment, schedule, and exact location you're going to be working. I'll reduce this to $7,000 on each count. And on position 2, the 3 counts of theft by deception. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. No further contact with Gaylene, Gaylene Bickham.
That's the one. If you watch Pam's part 2, the whole narrative on Bickham is in that video.
Bickham. Stay away from 1064 Park Drive North
Damn, she's giving out.
in Atlanta. Also, you can have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour
Stay away from these addresses.
curfew, court, lawyer, medical, and employment. As long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment, schedule, the exact location you'll be working. And also, sir, here you are not to use a credit card with anyone else's name on it other than your own.
Yes, because these are the charges where he was using that lady's money like it was his own. He was using so Attorney Pam, part 1, part 2, there was the individual that he ran up her credit card. She gave him some money. What was that scenario again? She wanted him to help her with maybe her social media, I think. I cannot remember. She wanted some help with social media. And she's the one who got the massages in the motor coach. Okay. Then there was part 2. There was the lady who was trying to grow her real estate business, and he convinced her to separate with her Mercedes and a lot of money. And some of that money he used to buy Shirley a brand new diamond ring. Okay. Okay. Like, when I first heard these, it was like, oh my God, wow, what has he been doing? But now, months later, hearing these calls, hearing the affidavits and hearing these the indictments and these narratives of the cases, it brings a lot of this to life. Yes. The lady with the credit cards, that's part 1. Bickham was part 2. So I shared both of those. If you go to my community wall on Love, Lies, and Lace Fronts, I shared Infamous Sylvia. If you want to hear about the night or the afternoon that Erica King was over here pretending to be a lawyer and got busted by the judge, go to Infamous Sylvia's video. I'm not going to say, like, go to her channel, but the video that you want is like from 3 months ago. So if you go to Love, Lies, and Lace Fronts, go to my community posts and just scroll down where I shared Infamous Sylvia's video. It's the exact video you need to watch if you want to know more about the pictures. She's got the narrative of the depiction of the photos, along with the information regarding Erica King's disastrous Zoom, where basically she got herself into a whole lot of trouble and basically kicked off a lot of this investigation because she was just so reckless in this. Anyway, also, I was listening, Sylvia, if you're still here, I was listening to Sylvia's live. We ended up going out of town unexpectedly this weekend, and I was listening to Sylvia's broadcast, and she was talking about some of Erica King's case and some of the medical challenges that Erica King is currently going through, which could have been some of the reason why she got the judicial bonds. Along with maybe she's helping the state. I don't know. That's just me putting 20 on 10. And then also the 2 videos to go watch over on Pam Esquire. So go check those out. I've shared everything with you. Relax said something about closed account, right? She was part 1. So yeah, go watch part 1, part 2. Pam was calling her SC. Who? I don't know who that is. The names he said were Melanie Scretchen. Is that I don't know. SC, I'm assuming is the initials for the person, but I don't know that that's Melanie Scretchen. Bickham is the one from part 2. That would line up with part 2. Let's see. Okay, let's just keep going because this is almost over.
And it needs to be your credit card. This is at 10,000 per count. Best of luck to you, sir. You can leave the booth.
Judge, a brief announcement for Mr. Brown, who's represented by attorney.
No bond. So what the legal field, but we all saw the performance from the University of Public Defense. What Hannah Rondon, she's an assistant public defender in Atlanta. And she has been an assistant public defender since September 2022. So coming up on a year. She was working with the Juvenile Justice Clinic as a student attorney at the University of South Carolina School of Law. She's been interning. Okay, I just dropped the link to this video. If you haven't seen this one yet, go ahead, check it out. It's posted. This is from August 16th. You're more than welcome to go and watch that upon the replay. It's already here, but we just went to go revisit that for obvious reasons. Just because of the new, the new stuff out on that kind of brings this stuff to life. Anyway, what else are we looking at? Those were two of the things. It's the affidavit. I'm going to be honest. It's the affidavit for me. This affidavit was put out somewhere at the end of June. So July, August, September. We're into October now. 4 months ago. So let's just say 2-3 months before the infamous Shirley Strawberry letter, she put this note out basically stating that she is not afraid of her husband, that she's not a witness or a party to his crimes, also that he is welcome to come home, and that she wants his release effectuated immediately. And if anything to the contrary has been conveyed to the court, they've been deceived. Okay. So I don't know what Shirley is. If anything, she is complicit to this guy. She is a writer. Who is S? What are you talking about? Okay, let's see. No, the name was redacted and only thing that was showing were the first letters of her name. I don't know what you're talking about, sis. I was thinking Pam was calling her SC for school counselor. I didn't know what the person's profession was. So you're saying that Melody is the lady that bought the ambulance to drive to work. Oh, Melody Scretchen is the one who, from part 1. Oh, well, how would I know that? You guys brought that all the way to our attention. Cause I'm asking who's Melody Scretchen. Okay. Well, thank you. That's who. So she's a school counselor. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I had no idea who she was. I just know that that was a name that we've heard over and over and over again. I did not know that that was the credit card, ambulance, all of the thing. I knew Bickham was the Mercedes and the motor coach bus person. Okay. But there's a laundry list of names and addresses and all of the things. So, okay. Very good. Thank you. Sorry if I missed. Okay, I appreciate that. She's the teacher. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. The name is on the document. Okay. I mean, look, we're all watching this unfold, and that's just the thing about this court system that we have. Everything is public for the most part, right? And I do think there's also some of my opinion. I do think that this case has been getting some preferential treatment because of who Ernesto is married to. And my thing is, Ernesto is not married to Michelle Obama. Shirley is regular schmegula. And Shirley is a woman who is not managing her bills. Okay. And not that that means that you deserve to be dragged, but at the end of the day, Shirley is just like everybody else out here. And well, not everybody, because everyone doesn't have a ratchet husband, but at the end of the day, Shirley got a lot going on out here. And I don't know why it seems like this case is getting very much preferential treatment, because there's a lot of people out here who like this stuff just seems to be getting swept up under the carpet. And I'm just surprised that people aren't more interested in this case, because this case is damn juicy as hell. And there's in light of all of these grifter type lover man type criminals, these scammers that come and separate women from their money, like I would think that this would be big news. And I guess it's big news in our community. And maybe it's of a certain age. I'm not sure, but I think that this is going to be big news at some point, but there's a lot of information to absorb. There's a lot going on here. And some people may just not be interested until maybe it does become a movie. Who knows? Girl, too many names. It's a lot of details. So let's see. She meant everything she said in the affidavit. Yeah, I think Shirley is, let's just agree on this. Maybe we can't agree on this, but maybe we can. Shirley knows everything at this point. She knows he's got a mistress. She knows he's been doing the most. She knows he has not been honest. And at least as far as up to this summer, Sis was ready for his ass to come home. Now, as far as her knowing that he was married to a whole nother woman, and even if they did get married and they did have a deed and they did have a license and all of those things, is there actually a marriage certificate on file? You know what I'm saying? And even if there is, it's still not valid because homie was in a position to get married to anybody, right? So Shirley is living in la la land. It's like every time she turns around and can have an excuse for one thing, there's a glaring situation of bitch. Why? Why? Like it's bad. She can't make a left or a right. Like everything is a mess. I mean, the fact that she sat up here and said that divorce proceedings were underway, it's like, ma'am, you don't know that you're not really married to this dude for one reason or another? Like it's bad. I did feel bad for her. Like this is last week I was like, my God, I'm 50-50. I can't believe she doesn't know anything. She knows something. And I'm also talking about in 2022. In 2023, if she doesn't know anything, she's trying to lie to us. That's a lie. There's no way she does not know what's going on. Because if you knew that he was arrested 3 times right into your marriage, then you already knew he had theft by taking. You already knew, because in 2015, this was posted. Hold on. This was posted in Superior Court. Hello? This man has been true to this. This man has been out here playing with the people for years. Okay? What does that say? June 19th, 2019? Excuse me. June 19th, 2015. When were you married? January 9th, 2015. So this was in your marriage. He was settling cases. He was settling up cases. And a notice of non-complex division repeat offender. Okay. Sir has been true to he's not new to this. He is true to this. Okay. Sir is true to the fact that he has been around. Okay. Sir has been doing this for a very, very long time. Okay. Shirley should have been out here trying to make her own money. I don't know what she did with her own money, but I have no idea. Let's see. And she was okay. The video, we're going to react to video this evening. So just hang on. I know that there's been two videos. There was the whole debacle of the auction of the truck, right? So trust me, we went away for the weekend. I don't know if Sylvia's still here. Sylvia, we went away for the weekend. I wanted Sylvia to come to my platform to panel up for a minute, just to talk about what she knows and share some information with us. I was hoping to maybe react a little bit to her video live with her, but we didn't get to do that. We ended up going out of town this weekend. So my apologies, Sylvia, if you're listening. I was not available this weekend. We had terrible internet at the Airbnb we were staying at. So that's why I was offline. Maybe we can meet up with Sylvia. I know she she does her own thing on her channel during the day, but maybe we can get something in by this weekend coming up. But I wanted to talk about what she shared on her channel and just to get her perspective of what's really going on here. Um, that's number one. That's Sylvia right here. If you don't know her channel, go check her out, guys. She has a lot of very good information. And oh hey sis, how are you? She also went and did a drive-by on Pine Grove, even though I said, guys, don't do it. Don't do it. She actually went on a I'm gonna say it like this. She went on a non-virtual tour and then tried to blame me for it, Bougie Gang. Are you kidding me? The infamous went out on the streets of Atlanta and then was calling out Bougie Gang's name. I was like, don't do that, sis. Don't do that. We told you not to go. Okay. We're not coming. We're not going. We're not bailing. And we're not accepting any phone calls from Global Tel Link. Okay. Sylvia, I love you, sis. And I mean it on some YouTube streets, but we're not accepting Global Tel Link calls. Okay. If it says, this is a call from Fulton County, I'm gonna be like, I don't know her. Who? This is a call from the infamous Sylvia. I'm gonna be like, we don't know her, and then we gonna request your calls. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, girl. But yeah, Sylvia is funny. Sylvia is very, very funny, and she went and did a non-virtual drive-by and actually ran into a neighbor. The lady said that her uncle was from the deal. Do you guys remember the deal? Okay, you guys know Babyface, right? Remember Babyface had a group with what's his name? LA. Damn. Who's his wife? Girlfriend. How could you let them treat you? So the producer of TLC, okay? His wife, so it was like LA, Babyface, and someone else, and they had a group called The Deal, right? Pebbles husband, Babyface, and some other old cat, okay? All right. Was that him? Was it LA Reid? Was LA Reid in that group? His brother. Girl, The Deal is old. That's straight up 80s and 90s. I barely remember The Deal, okay? But she said that was her uncle, okay? They ran into some lady and her hat said fuck around and find out or something like that, and they were talking. They had an interview with a lady on the street, and she was giving all the tea from the block. So I'll have to find the video and I'll share it with you guys, but it was funny. Sylvia was out there on the streets of Atlanta doing the most. It was cute, but I was happy she was safe, because at the end of the day, all jokes aside, I don't want any of you guys, any of us true crime folk getting into any trouble on the streets of anywhere, trying to do too much, because you just never know. Kenny Edmonds, girl, it was some damn she went back. She said, you remember the group The Deal? I was like, The Deal? I think my brother used to like them. She lived at 980 Pine Grove. Did you ask her the one question I wanted you to ask her? Is it remodeled inside? Because the pictures were looking very dated. The bathrooms, everything needed to be updated. So I'm assuming sis updated the house. I only think of you on 2 occasions. That's day and night. Night and day, I will go for broke if I can't be with you. Yes, only you can make it right. Yeah. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Ton of love is beautiful and it's not enough to satisfy emotions. Okay. You guys aren't used to me singing over here, so I'm not going to inflict any more pain on your ears. But I love karaoke. That's a little known karaoke thing. I love karaoke. Um yes, well, I am. Okay. Girl, baptized in that blood. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Absolutely. I was a Catholic schoolgirl. Absolutely. Any of you from Bergen County familiar with St. Cecilia's and Paramus Catholic? Yes. I am a Bergen County, New Jersey girl. Absolutely. St. Cecilia's and Paramus Catholic. Why not embark upon a singing career? I'm too old for that. And I mean that with all due respect. I'm not into it. I like talking to you guys on live stream. This is like my second career right now. This is so much fun to me. Um Jay Blizz is like, Jay Blizz, do you notice that you have a wrench, dear? I don't know if you noticed that or not, but Jay Blizz kind of was like here immediately when I went live, when we started this series, and has been a tremendous help. So I hope you don't mind volunteering and helping our chat stay great. Um, so we have a really nice time here, and I want to thank everybody who comes to these chats because it's so much fun. I am going to do a live later on because we do have to get caught up on the videos. Because I think 2 or 3 dropped while I was gone for the weekend. So we're going to get into some of that. You were Catholic schoolgirl too. Yes, 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 yes. Yes. Do you see that? Ah, you're welcome, my dear. You're welcome. You're welcome. I appreciate the help. Because some of you guys are like moderators and don't even have a wrench, and I appreciate that. Asking for likes and all of that stuff, and I appreciate that very much. It definitely helps. So it helps me a lot. So I thank all of you guys who keep the chat fun and keep it moving. Anyway, I feel like we did everything. I know we have lots of questions. We learned some. Look, we heard more addresses. I'm not telling anybody to go on any non-virtual tours. We only do virtual tours here on damn what's Real Talk Bougie. Are you from Bergen County? Been a fan of Bergen County Cadets Drum and Bugle Corps Hackensack for decades. Okay, I grew up in Englewood. I grew up in the beautiful Englewood. And that's my hometown. And pretty familiar with Hackensack. I mean, but yeah, I'm a Bergen County girl, 150%. I'm a Jersey girl. I will be at his next hearing. Is that on October 17th? Oh my God, Sylvia, if I could swing it, I would come down there. I would, because oh my God. I wonder, is he going to be zooming in? Um, We'll just, guys, you might want to subscribe to infamous Sylvia. She's going to be at the next hearing, and she does go live on breaks. Like, she'll go live and talk about what happened. So you might want to catch that heat, okay? Because I'll be listening. And then we're going to talk about it. So that's the one on the 17th. Yes, guys, mark your calendars. October 17th, court is in session. It might be on Zoom. So if I can find it, do you know which court? Is that Judge Edwards, Sylvia? Or is that another bail here? I think he should be done with bail hearings by now. The judge he has is very mean. Is that Judge Edwards? Judge Belinda Edwards? Infamous, do you have a copy of the affidavit that was filed by Shirley? Judge Belinda. It's like I have a notebook now. Like I literally have to take notes on this stuff. Judge Belinda. Okay, guys. And also just if you are trying to let your fingers do the walking and you're doing some searches and things like that, understand that if you look up Ernest, Ernest, there is there's some things that are filed with EAR. Okay. Not Judge Edwards. Are you talking about Judge Manning? Which Pebbles? Yes. I bet Shirley is about to die when the new call drops. Heart palpitations, cold sweats, especially when it's a premiere. She gotta wait till 7. Ooh. I will send you the affidavit. I am not at the store right now. Okay, cool. Thank you. Um, Not Edwards. So the judge that is going to be seeing him on the 17th. Okay. We don't take calls from jail either. From either of you? We won't know you. No. Yeah, we can't. We love Infamous Sylvia because Infamous Sylvia has no fear, and she's out here doing God's work, going and sitting live at the courthouse. But don't go around nobody's house because these people are crazy out here. Stay safe, sis. That's all I want. We like the Kikis, but we just want you to stay safe. All jokes aside, we'll come get you, but we want you to stay safe, Infamous Sylvia. Okay. I only think of you, Dan. Isn't it fun the people who are behind in the chat? I love it. I love it. And later on this evening, I'll still be getting comments. The trial is going to be. Did she say the trial? I lost it. The deal started in 1980. Girl, I was like a baby. I was a baby. Some of y'all weren't even born. Every time I say his businesses aren't making money because he's locked up. It irritates me. They clearly weren't making money, hence multiple evictions and having a scam. Also, these businesses were not sustainable because they were operating off of a hand to mouth business plan. Okay. You get it in your hand, it goes to your mouth, and or robbing Peter to. It was either the rob Peter to pay Paul business profile or the hand to mouth. Okay, you get it in your hand and it gets spent, or you're getting from this one and then you're giving it to that one and then you're running it over here, there, and everywhere. It was a mess. So of course his business. There are people who can sleep and go on all kinds of vacations and their businesses are still running because they are what? Sustainable. They are operationally sound endeavors. Ernesto was not involved in anything that did not require finesse. Okay. He had to finesse to make the cash. Okay. And because he wasn't out there finessing on these streets, immediately these businesses shut down. Okay. Yeah, we'll come get you, sis. We're just playing. We know you. It's girl, especially when you drop in that TT. Okay. Okay. But just be careful. That was the spirit of the joke. Be careful out here. Don't have like, you get it. Isn't that like it's like a Ponzi scheme. It is. It's very much giving Ponzi scheme. It's very much giving scam. I'm surprised Nesto's businesses weren't sustainable. No, because look what happened even Bernie Madoff. What happened to Bernie Madoff? The minute that he was absent from the business, what happened? It crumbled. Look at Erica Girardi from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Her husband is one of the most successful lawyers of all time. Okay. He went into the hospital and wasn't making the appropriate payments. And, sometimes it's sending money here to shut someone up, stopping a complaint, all of the things. A lot of times, people who are running Ponzi schemes, it's not the whole entire corporation. It's not even the whole entire front office. Sometimes it's one person, and they're using, hey, send a check. I owe a payment to Boo Boo. Send her $25,000 or so and so. Do this, do that. You have people working on your behalf, but they may not even really know what you're doing. And because you're the head and not the tail, people will do what you tell them to do, even if it doesn't account for receipts. Let me tell you this. Look, perfect example, Alex Murdoch, right? Alex wasn't even the head, but Alex, in theory, as an attorney, he was running his own business in the practice. He was part of a practice, but he used his practice as cover. But in a way, he was his own revenue generating source, right? So when he would get a case, because he's under the practice, the firm would manage the money and the disbursements, right? But there were times where he would have people make a check instead of making the check out to blah 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 attorneys at law. He may have them make the check out to him. He goes, cashes the check, and deposit it into a fake account, kind of wash the money, and then he would either issue another check. He would even ask people to maybe issue him 2 checks. So there are times, so when someone is no longer available to run the scam, that's when someone starts asking questions. Alex Murdoch, a lot of, not everything that got him caught, but Alex Murdoch, I'm talking about a completely different case right now, guys. The Murdoch murder mysteries. Um, where he was just convicted of killing his wife and his son. One of the things that got him busted by his firm for his financial misdoings was the fact that his paralegal got a check, or was still owed a check for a case, and she kept calling the other firm that he was co-counsel on and asking for the check, and they said they'd already gave it to Alex, and she couldn't track it down. And her job as a paralegal was to do some of his accounting in terms of receiving monies and then turning it over to the CFO. So she kept calling for the monies to settle the case, and and Alex was lying to her. Alex kept pushing her off and pushing her off and pushing her off until finally the CFO started doing some looking around and realized, like, there was some weird shit going on, right? So oftentimes, there was another situation once, and this was a long time ago. I'd have to find the story, but there was a woman who was, like, let's say a county clerk, and she was stealing money from her city. She went on a 2-week vacation. She hadn't been on vacation in years. She went on a 2-week vacation. They found out that she had been embezzling $2 million from the city. How did they find out? Because she wasn't there. She hadn't been there. She wasn't there for 2 weeks. Somebody's in there doing her job. They notice that something is off. You go and check out 2 things, and then you're like, "Oh shit." That's why it's so important for people to leave their desk every now and again at companies, anywhere. Because when you have someone who's been in their job for so long, they're very well trusted. Not to say that everyone is out here doing wrong things, but some people are. And it's good to have people step away from their job. It's good for people to rotate jobs. It's good for oversight and compliance. It's good for a lot of different reasons for people to have checks and balances in anything, because people get in financial trouble. Some people are just thieves. Some people mean you no good. Some people can't keep their hands out the kitty. It's just a lot of different reasons, okay? Absolutely, Butterfly Beauty. So you have to always follow the money trail. I don't know that he was a one man show, but I guarantee you Ernesto knows everything. Shirley may know some things. And I believe, I think Sylvia was reading something that Shirley was still on a suspect list. Shirley deserves, if in fact Shirley is still on the suspect list in 2023, she deserves it. And I'm going to tell you why. Because to date, if she still has not sat with the police yet to tell them what she knows and what she doesn't know, I mean, if your husband loves you, your husband should not be mad at you to answer some questions to the law. Someone who does not love you and just wants to control you, and he's willing for you to take the heat for something that you may or may not know about, or may, even if you know something, you might not be involved. Um, you can't possibly love me. You know what I mean? If you love me, you want to protect me. Um, our love should not be contingent on me keeping your secrets. If your secrets is going to put me in jeopardy away from my daughter and my grandchildren, no matter what our relationship is with them. And um the fact, if Sheridan needed to clear her name because she's a mommy with small kids, I respect that. That's what she needed to do. And Shirley is a mother with a daughter and grandchildren, and he should respect that. If she has no part in anything that he's doing, but she turned a blind eye, it's time to speak up. And everyone might not agree with that, but it is what it is. We all have our own opinions. And I'm sorry. There's nothing cute about being 69 and going to the penitentiary. I would hope my husband wouldn't want me to do something like that. That's crazy. Um, I've been listening in the bushes, but do you think Dion is part of it? I think Dion probably knows his father's up to no good. I don't know that he was running here and running there or participating, but he might know a little something, something. Yeah, especially after the new call. I think he knows what his dad is up to, but I don't know that he like works for his dad. I don't know that he's like, you know, like it's a family business type thing. I think Ernesto is running game all over the place, and people have very specific jobs, but they may not be part of his criminal enterprise. They might just be like how Dion cuts hair or whatever. Maybe he's got a booth at his thing, and maybe he might say, "Oh, make a deposit," but does he know what the deposit entails? Does he know what he's actually doing? Maybe not. You see what I'm saying, Joanne? Some people have their own little Ponzi schemes going. You don't even know what's going on. But Tom Girardi, if you didn't know, first of all, you guys know that these Real Housewives, people have been locked up. Erica Girardi, luckily, kept her stuff separate from her husband, which is why she's not in jail right now. But there are plenty. Just Google Real Housewives or Real Housewives husbands that have gone to prison. Going on this show has exposed people in a major way. And if Ernesto thought that Shirley was going to be his cover, Shirley's going to probably be his downfall, thinking that he was going to get with her and that nobody was going to notice. Okay. That he was going to use her cachet. Um, and it was going to be all for his good. It might be his complete undoing. So good for him. Where can I see the whole court hearing? I shared the link, sis. Uninterrupted. Yeah, I shared the links. You can just click on the links in the chat. Just scroll back, or I'll share them again once we're done. I'll share them in the comment section. If you're on YouTube, right? Or you can go over to my Facebook. When I drop them, there's no chat over on Facebook, so you'll see them in the comments. If you just go over to Real Talk Bougie on Facebook, the links are in there and you can just click on them and it'll take you right over to like the original broadcast, where typically if I'm showing something over here, I'll let it play one time uninterrupted, and then the second time we'll react to it. So hopefully that helps. Phaedra and Apollo. There's another woman who's going to jail, Jen something, the one from Utah. There were the Judices from New Jersey. There's plenty of people, right? I mean, there's more than a handful. We'll put it that way. Anyway, guys, I gotta go real quick and I'll be back. Give me about like later this evening. Like it could even be 8 o'clock tonight, but we are definitely going to react to at least one or two of those videos. We still got to get to Sonia making play. I feel like nobody likes Sonia. Sonia's kind of funny, but maybe you guys want to hear the Shirley calls. But maybe I don't know. You guys tell me. All right. I'll put up a poll in a minute and you guys vote do you guys want a Shirley call to react to? Do you guys want to go back to the OG first call? Do you guys want to go back to number 1 episode drop of the Shirley Ernesto videos? Do you want to go to phone calls from prison episode like Shirley and Ernesto episode 1? Do you guys want to do Sonia or do you guys want to do the Shirley and Dion? So you guys vote on that. Let me know. And then that's what we'll do tonight. Okay. And then whatever in that order, that's what we'll do next. Okay. I girl, even if I knew I would not drop it at this moment. I can't I don't I know what's on her phone log, but I don't want to say because that could be, that could be her name. That could be her legal name. It could be it could be a fake name of what she got her phone number under. I just don't think it's the right thing to do. I just don't. Sis tried it, right? It's not the right look, if it comes out, I promise you, we'll talk about it, but I'm gonna say this. I don't want to be the one to put it out. If somebody else wants to put it out, they can put it out and we will talk about it till the cows come home. I'm not going to be the one to put it out. I don't want to get sued. You know what I mean? Because yeah, I guess that goes with that needs no further when her name gets put out there, we're going to talk about it. But I don't believe that the information that I have is different from information that was put out here on the streets. Now, I'm not saying that was incorrect. I'm just saying I have different information. And really, my information just comes from plugging the number into a Google search and a different name came up. And it definitely comes up with a Florida area code. That doesn't mean that someone can't live elsewhere, but, you know, like Tasha K. How could you do that? How could you do that to your husband $1, $2, $3 million later? I can't do that to my husband and my daughter. I can't sit out here and get sued by someone who actually could get a lawyer. There's people out here who are like, I'm gonna sue, and they don't have 5 cents, but we know Shirley doesn't have much money, but she could possibly get someone to take a case. So yeah. Really? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't if it's out here, it's out here, but I won't be the one to put that out. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not going to do that. You guys understand. It's fun this way. Look, it gives us something to anticipate. And you never know. If sis comes to the YouTube street, she might put her own information out and then we'll be good, right? Trust me, when it's time to put certain things out and we can put certain I'm going to speak for myself because I'm everyone out here who operates their own channel operates their own situation. For me, when it's time, it'll like everything will be out here, but I can guarantee you Sonia has put herself in a position to definitely be called as a witness. Absolutely. She's put herself in a position that she knows Ernest before he was arrested and she has stayed in contact with him. She has put herself in a position that if this thing goes to the trial of the century, she has definitely put herself in a position that she may know some things and they could call her as a witness. And I would love to hear that. I don't know if she is I'm sure she is someone who they could call as a witness, even just as someone who he was making plans with for the future. Someone who, were you planning on leaving your wife? Were you planning on leaving the state? All of these things. Trying to figure out what she knows that we may not know. She knew Ernest before he went to prison or went to jail rather. There are things she knows. We don't know if she has even called and flipped him. Who knows? running her mouth and being involved with a criminal. Also, she has a criminal background. She has a whole criminal background. She was a slumlord. She was all kinds of things. She was talking about her bankruptcy, which that's obviously not a criminal offense, but she was talking about her financial dealings, and she's also kind of almost making people think she could be fleecing um and taking advantage of the system. And you know, that's what happened with the Judices. They had just so on Real Housewives of New Jersey season 2, Teresa and Joe, or was it season 1? They had just finished a whole entire bankruptcy. And here's Teresa talking about going shopping and asking for like a stack of money to go shopping. Meanwhile, they had just got cleared from bankruptcy. And the story is that the bankruptcy judge, his wife was watching the season premiere of New Jersey Housewives and was like, "Isn't that the couple that just came through bankruptcy court with you?" And they got to watching, and the Judices ended up back in court for fraud because clearly they were holding back on their finances and money. Joe was building a house, not in their name, I guess in their company name or something that they ended up living in, and all of this money, but they just pled and got a whole bankruptcy filing. So all of that fraud, that financial fraud, is what sent Teresa to jail and what ended up sending Joe to jail and ended up Joe getting deported. So play around on these reality shows and think that people aren't watching and that people aren't turning you in and all of that stuff. That stuff is real. Like someone said, Phaedra and Apollo, the Girardis, Erica and Tom, all of that stuff. Okay. Yeah. Dumb criminals. Absolutely. Y'all, I'm going to go ahead and go because I've got some mom duties to handle. Sis, I see you. Hey, according to her, this is the second coming of Griselda Blanco. Okay. All right, guys. I will see you guys later on. I would say somewhere between like 6 and 8. Let me just catch my breath because I've been live for 4 hours today. I did a 2 hour on Love Lies and Lace Fronts earlier, and then I'm over here for 2 hours. I don't know that we made a lot of headway over here. We didn't get to address a lot of comments because you guys have like a ton of comments, but we're gonna do that soon. But I just felt like I owed you guys some FaceTime over here and like a dedicated like just chat on some Nesto, some sure Nesto. What's my email? You could do info@realtalkbougie.com or love lies and lace fronts at gmail.com. But info at realtalkbougie altogether.com. If you go to my about page, click on my about page and click email, and it's right there for you. I missed Love Lies and Relationships earlier, going back to watch the replay. Yeah, and we're gonna do a whole, so tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to come watch tonight. We're gonna do a reaction, okay? And just let me just get like a little bit of a break, spend some time with my daughter when she gets home from school, make my husband dinner, all the things, and then we'll get into it sometime this evening. But I promise on a stack of Bibles, I will be back. I might just go ahead and set it for like, let's say 8 o'clock. And if I come earlier, I come earlier. If I come on time, then I'm on time. Okay. So I'm going to just set it up for like 8 o'clock. And that way it's already there and you guys can go to it and then click on, even though you have your notification set, go and click notify me because then you get a second notification because sometimes YouTube notifications are not always reliable. So if you go click on individual notification, it will make sure that you will get that personalized notification for that video. So anywho, guys, I hope that you have a good rest of your afternoon. I got to go get on mom duties and handle, yes, mom duties, me. Yes. I'm going to bake some chicken tonight. Okay. Yes. Let me go ahead and get on my mom duties so I can have some time with you guys later on this evening. Okay. And Shernesto, yes, we will be back on that and we will be reacting to, I'm not sure yet. I'm going to put up a poll and you guys vote over here and then we will do it over there. Okay. Also, I do have a couple of other polls that we need to go through. So I've got a couple things that we will go through when we start that live. Anyway, guys, have a good afternoon. I'll see you guys later. Okay. Take care and I will see you guys next time I go live. Let me see what's going on here. Okay. And I will see you guys next time I go live. Take care. Have a great afternoon. See ya. Bye.